Everybody wants to know what's the best RTR. How does this compare to that or that? So here's what we've got. I've got my Juice Up completely back to stock. I removed the brass portal covers that I had on here, and everything is completely stock besides the wheels and tires. Now these are the wheels and tires that I'm going to run on all three trucks. Just to kind of make it fair, I feel like none of us really run the RTR wheels and tires that we get. We like to make them our own. So this is a pretty good setup here for me in my area. It's a cheap tire, works well. So we're just going to move these wheels and tires from this truck to this truck to this truck. Now I did go ahead and pick up a new Apex because you guys may know, if you watch the channel, this is my Apex that I've did some mods to. And I've been like bouncing back and forth, changing things out to make it stock to do these. So I just went ahead and picked up another one. I did purchase this. I love the Apex. I've got a pretty good idea of a good home for this when I'm finished with all of the comparisons. So we just picked up another one. So we're gonna run this, this, and this with these wheels and tires. That's to come later.
Skirt, psych. All right, I had planned to run the Venture later, but we're gonna go ahead and throw it in the mix. Why not?
So we're just gonna duke it out with these things. I really don't know who's gonna win. Doesn't really matter to me. They all have their value for different reasons. So we're just gonna duke it out and see who wins. You better buckle up, boys, because it's gonna get a little wild. Don't ask me why I'm wearing this helmet. I just seen it sitting over there and thought it'd be funny to wear my daughter's helmet in the video. Like, that's just how my mind works. I do want to show you guys how we are kind of changing the stance on the Apex here a bit. We're making it a little more narrow with these wheels. So you'll see how we're sitting over here versus the stock setup. I actually think this is a really good setup for comps. If you actually plan to run this in any sort of comp, being just a little bit more narrow is going to help you get through those gates. The stock setup is really wide with these stock wheels. So we are tucking them in a bit here. It's very close to rubbing the outer portal cover, but as you can see, we're moving, spinning nice and free. I did go ahead and add one of these little rubber O-rings between the wheel itself and the hex, kind of basically like right here. It just creates a tiny little bit of space. It was turning freely without that, but it looked like it was rubbing, in my opinion, just looking at it. And I can't really get you guys a good view in there, but the wheel looked like it was touching that outer portal cover just a hair maybe. It seemed like it wasn't though, because it was turning freely. So I did go ahead and just toss that in there. It's a little cheater. It gives you just a hair bit of space between the wheel and the hex, kind of holds that wheel out just a hair. And as you can see, we're turning nice and free. So it's going to work, but we are narrowing this up a bit. So it's not technically stock width, but I feel like a lot of people's going to do that. It's part of the reason I decided to go with these wheels and tires, because they actually fit this and kind of did what I feel like most of us are going to do with this. And then it should fit basically the same on here as it does this, because they're like the same axle. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys how that is going to be sitting. I'll go ahead and throw the other front on here just so you can see what it looks like. And we'll get a measurement of the stock width and then this width. You'll see here, stock width, I'm going to call it 145. I mean, it's 144.84. I'd basically just set it to where it would kind of go down over the wheels and tires easily. And then the front here, we are narrowing it up a bit. You'll see there's the difference, 144.85 to, what do we got here? Probably around 142 maybe. So, you know, a couple millimeters or so, but it will make a big difference. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and tuck this in front and rear and run it with these wheels and tires. Lots of changing wheels and tires out here. I wanted to mention that these are all just running the stock battery that they come with. The Furitek doesn't come with one, so I'm actually just running this little 350 2S pack in here. This thing has tons of wheel speed. It's fine on 2S. Actually is a little less jumpy on 2S in my opinion. So we are just running that 2S pack in here. It just fits the tray well, and it's not a lot of weight. So it's very similar in size to what the Juice Up comes with. The Redcat, the Apex is a little smaller, but I just wanted to mention what battery we are running in here.
So we're just going to run each line back to back with the Apex first, the Juice Up second, the Furitek third, and the Venture 18 last. So we'll run this line with the Apex, then we'll hit it with the Juice Up, etc. I did just kind of handpick a few of the tougher lines on the course to kind of keep the video a little bit shorter. And we'll just kind of talk a little bit about how each one handled each line. The Apex here did very well on this. This was the first time I had attempted it with these wheels and tires. And it definitely, I can tell that it has much better steering. When I go straight from this truck to the Juice Up, etc., you can really feel that steering on the Apex. But the Juice Up handled this really well also. So I'll just kind of let you guys watch. The Furitek really struggled with a lot of lines because of it doesn't have overdrive or really much weight up front. The Juice Up here has the overdrive, and that really makes a difference on climbs like this and just your uphill stuff, because it helps that front engage first, which helps settle that suspension in a little bit, sucks it into the rock a little bit. But as you can see here, the Juice Up handled this very well. And I've been running the Juice Up on these wheels and tires for a long time, so I'm pretty used to how it kind of handles. But removing the brass portal covers did make a little bit of a difference on a couple spots. But the Furitek really needs the overdrive or the weight up front. It was able to pull this line, which really surprised me that it did this one. Just getting it in the right position. These wheels do have a little bit of added weight to them. We're running flubs up front. So we'll talk about these wheels and tires real quick, because these are the LGRP Swamp King tires with the flubs in the front, stock foam. I think it's the LGRP foam in the rear. It may be like a foam from another tire, because those LGRP foams are pretty soft. So I may have just picked like a stock foam from another tire and tossed in there, but it is just like a regular stock foam. Here you'll see the Venture. It just, man, you get that torque twist, and it really showed it a lot on my home course here and the lines we were testing. But I was able to get it in position. I actually was able to get it where we wanted to be, but you'll see that the wider skid and slider combination on it really just kept us from getting through the V-notch here. So I'll let you check it out, and I actually kind of show it here in a sec.
The extra width of this chassis just really won't allow it to start up through here. The sliders are catching, and we can't get through there. With the stock tires sitting a little higher, we may have had the clearance to get over it, but because we were sitting higher, I couldn't really get started on this. So we just can't quite get over that. Man, if it would get, if we could just get that front of the skid over it, man, I think we could almost get it if we could get, I mean, obviously, if you set it on top, it's gonna get it, right? It's just too wide to get in the V there, or get through the V even.
So this is just a little side hill line. And once you kind of get over the crest of that rock on the right, you turn and go uphill. Just kind of makes you do a little bit of side hill action. The Apex definitely handled this best. I think being sort of light in the rear end and then having that really good steering angle, we were able to turn and go up this really well. And I really probably should have tested a little more downhill action. I didn't do a lot of downhill stuff. The Apex is light in the rear end, and that's really the only place that it kind of struggled out of the box, was just going downhill. And maybe some of these others would have did better there. That's my fault on that. But the Juice Up was second probably on this line. We get a little bit of raise on the passenger side when we start to go uphill, but it makes this side hill very well. You kind of let that rear wash out a little bit and work your around.
When I get in this kind of technical spot like this where I'm really trying to go slow and easy, you do kind of notice that slop in there to where it feels like you hit the throttle and you're doing nothing forever. So I do kind of notice that right here, right now. Starting to lift that passenger side, but hopefully we can pull it on around here. Also have a cat all over me right now, so it's not helping my driving.
The Furitek seemed to handle this pretty well also. When I got to the last part, the uphill, it tipped out on me, you'll see. So I just always felt like it needed overdrive. Really, overdrive would help it a ton. And then I would definitely add a little weight to the front of this thing. But the overdrive would probably help just as much as the weight, honestly. But you'll see right here, I was going a little bit farther to the right, I think, than I did with the other two. So to be fair, right in there's more of the line, but it still just always felt really light in the front end. Here you'll see, I think I kind of hit the line a little more like we did with the other two trucks, and it makes it up it. So part of that's just me possibly not hitting the line right, but you'll notice I'm just struggling for traction a little bit with the front end there, and I think the overdrive or a little weight up front would have helped. Now I tried this like 3 times with the Venture here, and just sitting higher and the weight of the cage on the back of this thing, I couldn't make this side hill. And I think maybe if we settled that suspension down a little bit, that would probably help. And then obviously if we added a little weight down low, that would help as well. But we've just got that body, the added weight of that body with the cage, and it just sits kind of high out of the box, you know. So we're not making any mods to these. We're just running them as they are out of the box. Now, I didn't try using the disengage or dig on that. It may have made a difference. It definitely made a difference on this line with the Venture. Now, the Apex, as you can see, walks right up this. No issues. We're getting a little bit of lift with the Evo, or with the Juice Up here. The right front raising up a little bit, but we're able to pull it kind of 3-wheel up it. Again, the Apex just seemed to be a little more planted on this, but the Juice Up handled it pretty well also. Here you'll see just the lack of overdrive to the front just killed the Furitek on this one. I tried and I tried and I tried to get up this one. I tried to hit it at a little bit different of an angle. I tried to go up and over this and hook the driver's side a little bit on that rock to get a little pull, because we really need that front to bite first or bite harder than the rear to keep the rear from looping us out. So that's where the overdrive just makes all the difference. And I couldn't get up this one with the Furitek at all. I actually gave it many, many tries, and it just did not like this climb whatsoever. So it really needs some weight up front and overdrive. I think it would make all the difference in the world. And this was kind of the story over and over with the Furitek. It just felt light in that front end, and we didn't have that overdrive to get the bite that we needed. Here you'll notice what difference overdrive makes. I mean, I honestly thought this truck was going to struggle with this climb more than any of them with that added weight up top and the torque twist we normally get, but it just handled it really well. Now, once you get to the top of this rock, normally I turn right and go straight up the hill. I tried to make this as fair as possible. It's hard to hit this line the same every time, but my goal was basically to start turning uphill at that crack that you see. So you'll see right here, I'm already kind of turning right a little bit with the Evo, trying to cheat it just a little bit because we don't have the steering that we have with the Apex. The Apex just walks up this like it's nothing. The Evo, we just couldn't quite get the bite. Probably a tire that had less meat to it, less knobbies, where we're getting that, not getting as much skip. We might catch that bite. These big lugs just tend to kind of skip on the rocks sometimes here, and you'll notice we just don't quite get the bite that we need. I tried this several times with the Juice Up, and I was able to get it by turning into the rock a little sooner, kind of cheating on the line a bit, but still pretty much within the line in my opinion. I just feel like I turned into it a little bit sooner and got up on that rock on the right a little bit more. Here we just almost got the bite, but again, those lugs on the tires kind of skipping cost us our traction there, and we just washed out again. But we did eventually get it here. I was just kind of coming into it a little tighter. I'd already started the turn a little bit sooner, and we got a little better hook, got up on that rock on the right a little more, and was able to pull up this. So it's really, this is one of those that kind of comes down to driving and how quick you turn into that and everything. So it's kind of hard to make this one a fair test, a fair line, but I tried to do my best with it, and just wanted to put it in here because it is one of those lines where the steering of the Apex just really paid off. The Furitek, I couldn't quite get the bite. I mean, it's almost exactly like the Evo when it comes to the steering angle and everything because the axles are the same, but you can see I did finally catch there, and then I had to back up and stuff. But then here again, I couldn't get the uphill section of it. So we did catch the bite eventually, and I did have to use reverse, which is not what, I intended the line to be. But once it caught that first bite, I thought, well, we'll go ahead and try to get up this. But not having overdrive, it feels so lightweight in the front end. It's just crazy. And I couldn't hardly get it to bite up that. I had to kind of punch it, and we just kind of hopped over it a little bit. With the Venture, you can really just kind of feel that it sits a little bit higher, and you'll see that I couldn't get this without using the dig, but we did get it with the dig, which is a feature that's included with the stock truck, so I felt fine using that. But you'll see we just looped out there.
I feel like it just can't quite get that. There we go. Using that disengage on the rear, which does come stock on this truck, I was able to get it to hook and pull around there. Very nice.
Now, all of the trucks made this line. I think you'll see the Apex and the Juice Up handled it best. They both stayed pretty much pinned to the rock. I don't see or feel any torque twist with the Redcat here. The Juice Up handled it really well also. I didn't really see any, and look, I just keep hitting it over and over so you can see it doesn't matter how I hit it or how fast I hit it, etc. We stay very well planted with the Apex and the Juice Up. Up, down, up. I just kind of wanted to show, it's like, I'm not trying to rig these tests. It's just those two trucks handled it very well. Here the Furitek handles it as well. We are getting a little raise on that driver's side. A little bit of torque twist. You'll see we're just kind of three-wheeling it there. Down it, back up it. And it always just tends to raise that driver's side a little bit. Same with the Venture here. It raises it a lot. It definitely three-wheels up this. But it does it. It makes it. We're lifting that front driver quite a bit. But we were able to get up it pretty easily. Now this line is probably the hardest to hit the same every time. So you can kind of take this for what you want or throw it out completely. It doesn't matter. But the Apex definitely went up at easiest. It's hard to hit this the same every time though. It throws you right, left. There's several different angles here. So it's just hard to hit this exactly the same. The trucks handle it different. You'll see the Evo. I keep calling this the Evo. Why do I do that? The Juice Up handles it pretty well also. Not quite as clean as the Apex in my opinion, but some of that could just be driver, how I'm hitting it, how I'm reacting to the way it's throwing me around, etc. The Furitek, I just couldn't quite get the bite. We didn't have that overdrive in the front to get the bite and hook. Again, it could just be how I'm hitting it. I tried to make it as fair as I could. I couldn't get it to bite. I was getting a little lift. I tried to bounce it and I just couldn't get it to go up this one. Now, I was actually pretty surprised that the HPI handled this halfway decent. I mean, it got up it. I really didn't feel like it was going to do well on this one just because of that torque twist. I was playing around disengaging the rear, trying to get the front to bite, and I ended up just kind of bouncing up it a little bit like I did with the other trucks. It definitely feels like, this thing feels like driving a tank compared to the Furitek. It's got more weight to it. So it does feel more planted most of the time. And I think that just helped it get up this, just having a little more weight holding it down, even though it sits a little high and you can see that body, that cage really pulls on it. That torque twist is not helping at all right here. But it did get it done. I gave it a couple tries. I don't think I actually even rolled this one. I just kind of bounced around, bobbled back down a little bit, and then started over and finally made it up it. So I was actually impressed that this truck made it up this as well as it did. I mean, it didn't do it easily, but I really didn't think it was going to do it at all. You'll see on this climb, the Apex handles this really well. I get one little bobble here. I think I got the hook and start to give it a little throttle and almost lose it. But I never looped out, just eased into it. It stays planted like it should. And it's just about getting the bite with the tires right here. Pulled this one pretty easily. The Juice Up had a little bit more trouble getting the bite. This is one that I know when I had the brass portal covers front and rear on this truck with these exact wheels and tires, it went up this pretty easily. So I think just that little bit of weight that we removed in the front really helped this one out. But having the overdrive and still the weight of these wheels, it was able to get up it. It just took a little bit more effort than it usually does. Right there is where I can turn the Redcat completely left, and because the axle turns so far, it kind of hooks and pulls you up. That is a little difference that I noticed right here. The Furitek not having that overdrive, it just didn't have a shot at this one. I tried it multiple times. I cut the rest out because you guys don't want to sit here and watch this thing loop out over and over. And I was trying to keep this video as short as possible with all of these comparisons in here, but it really just had no chance. You can tell there it's not starting to bite with the front at all, and the rear's just looping it out. So it just, that's how this truck felt the entire day. It just always felt like it was standing straight up or flipping backwards. The HPI kind of felt the same on this one, just having that added weight up top and sitting higher. It really couldn't get started without using the dig. Let's try this using the disengage function, because that does come stock on the truck, and I feel like we can get this if we disengage the rear enough to get enough bite with the front to get some pressure on that rear tire. We're not quite there yet. Uh-oh, I may have pulled too far over. Right there, see how we got that squish? Now we want to click back to four-wheel drive. We got the bite. Get the pull. Yes. Very sweet. That's where the fun factor with that disengage, it's something new. It is a lot of fun.
This hop right here, Apex again, just absolutely handled it like a boss. I mean, after driving this against everything back to back with the same wheels and tires, everything was just easier with it. You'll see the Juice Up is able to get over it. I mean, maybe that's lack of where I, punched it or whatever. I gave it full throttle, so it wasn't a matter of not giving it enough beans. For this hop, I did switch to a Galaxy 3S pack in this because it wasn't close to hopping over this on 2S. Wow. Big difference in wheel speed going to the 3S. But on 2S, it wasn't even getting close, really. And I thought, well, that's not fair. This being on 2S and the other truck's 3S, this is really the only place where it's kind of affecting that, because we need that wheel speed to get the hop. It doesn't seem to have the weight on the front that it needs. It just always wants to lean backwards. I still just can't get close to it. It just goes straight up, like it has no front. It needs some weight in the front. I don't know about the hop. I really don't know what to expect here. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay, that wasn't super clean. That could have just been the way I hit it, but we did make it. We're not hooking there too well. Again, that may be the angle I came up at this, so we're gonna give it that one. This is another one of those where you gotta have a good balance. A little weight in the front, the overdrive, it wants to throw you to the right just like it did there, but you gotta get that driver front tire to hook up over the edge. I'm just in all sorts of a mess here. So I back up and just kind of hit it again, but I wanted to put this first attempt in here. But you got to get that driver side to hook up and over this rock, but not loop out. So you got to have really the overdrive, no torque twists, etc. The Apex handles this really well, having the brass portal covers and diff cover already installed out of the box up front. And then it's able to just kind of pull itself up very easily. The light rear end in this makes stuff like that easy as well. Now with the Juice Up, this is one that I noticed not having the portal covers up front, because I've been up this many times with this truck with these exact wheels and tires, just with the brass portal covers in the front added and the rear, but the front I think is what made the difference. Just gave me that little bit of extra weight to get that driver's side tire to hook and bite. So I tried this a few times because I know I've been up this. And so just that little bit of weight, I really noticed it missing here. Oh my. The Furitek, I'm going to give you one guess. It did not like trying to get up this. Just zero chance, not having the overdrive. Again, that rear is just looping us out. A little weight, a little overdrive. I think it could get this. I mean, really, it just feels so light, and it was always flipping backwards, just like it did right there. So I gave it a couple of tries and moved on. I think we're really going to struggle on this one with this truck, with all of that torque twist lifting that front. But we do have a little weight in the front that may hold our front end down, and a good amount of overdrive, which is what really hurt the Furitek. It didn't have either. Not getting that bite. We almost had that bite right there. That's kind of what you got to do, is hang high with the driver's side. Let it fall in a bit, but get the rear to pull up and over. We were just almost there. Oh, that's almost it. There it goes. That's exactly what we needed the Furitek to do. It just didn't have the overdrive or weight in the front to hold that front down. Now is the really hard part here. Let's see if we can get over that. We are in a bad way. Let's try our disengage. Pull us back over. Try it again. It's so neat having that. It really is. I don't know if I'm gonna get that. What? I'm just stuck. So we were right here trying to get that rear to pull up and over, and I just, well, look, if I put it in the perfect spot, obviously it's gonna go right up it. We can definitely get that with a couple more tries. This is kind of an oddball line that I've never really tried with any of these trucks. I used to have the bridge here, and you can see it just kind of fell apart on me. But going up this, it's very steep at the top. It's kind of hard to get this bite right here. I really just kind of had to punch it a little bit and get the right bounce, and then hook and get up that. And I was very surprised that the Apex and the Juice Up did it pretty well. The other two, not so much. But I really wasn't too surprised, because this is very steep at the top, and neither one of those trucks do real well on super steep inclines. So the Furitek obviously just felt really light again in the front, no bite, and the HPI being more weight up top, it struggled as well. Wow. Wow. Now you'll see here, I had this. I totally had this. The Juice Up had this, okay? I just, lack of skill as a driver. I'll blow it right here. But I kind of just set it back up there.
No.
I may have set it a little too far up. I don't know. I think I'm in about the same position. Just needed to get the hook, and it was able to get up and over it. The clearance on the belly, I got caught a little bit here. Again, it could just be how I hit it. But I do feel like the underneath side of the Apex is just a little cleaner, which helped me get over this easier. the Furitek really had no shot here. I wanted to give it a shot, but I felt like it was just not going to have a chance to get up this. It's just too steep at the top, and it's just too tipsy. The HPI, kind of the same. I really didn't think it had a chance at getting up this. It did get a little farther than I expected. I think with a little work, maybe we could get it up there. Same for this truck, you know, just a little bit of modding to it. And I think it can do most of these lines. It's out of the box right now. And that's how I wanted to test it, because that's how you guys are going to get it. So I know somebody's going to say, well, you can do this and you can do this. And yeah, I know how to make them better. But I just wanted to test it straight out of the box. And I didn't waste a lot of time with either one of these trucks, because I just felt like there was zero chance I was getting up this. These last couple little lines here, they all got them done. They all handled them a little bit different, but they did get them done. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. I want to say thanks for hanging out. If you're still here, you're amazing. I want to say thanks to the channel members. If you're interested in joining that, check the link in the description. You can jump on board with that. I will link all of these trucks in the description. I will try to link I don't know about the wheels. I don't really know where I got these. I think they may have just been like some cheap Amazon wheels at some point. But I'll try to link those if I can find them, and the tires. So if you're interested in any of this stuff and you want to click through the link, it does help out the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. So you guys be the judge. It doesn't really matter to me. I think they are all really good trucks. They all have their own value. With a little bit of work, they can all be very, very similar. So you be the judge. I just wanted to throw these out there. I'll probably do some more running with these, maybe some mods. I got an idea of something I wanted to try with that HPI, because I love that truck so much. I just don't like that torque twist. So I got a pretty neat idea. I'm going to give a try with that. And I've got a lot of new stuff coming, a lot of really small, the 30th scale or 32nd scale or whatever. I'm diving head first into those. So a lot of stuff coming with those. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope this video helps you make the decision on which truck is best for you. They're all good, and they're all going to fit each of us different, you know. One may be more your style than the other. So it's always good to have these options. And I hope this video helps you make a choice on what would be best for you, or if maybe you just need them all. Peace, guys.